Hello, everyone. Welcome to Capulin Volcano National Monument. My name is Ranger Melissa, and today we'll be talking about the different types of volcanoes and how Capulin Volcano in particular would have erupted. Capulin Volcano is this amazing tree-covered cinder cone volcano behind me. It erupted about 60,000 years ago. To us, 60,000 years is a very long time ago. But geologically, that's actually a very short time, and Capulin Volcano is a very young cinder cone volcano. Now, talking about the main types of volcanoes, cinder cone volcanoes like Capulin tend to have steeply sloping sides that lead to a depression or a crater at the top. They tend to have very explosive, short eruptions. For example, Capulin Volcano probably could have erupted in as few as 1 year or as many as 100 years. Still, 100 years is a very short time for a mountain to form in. Another type of volcano besides cinder cones is stratovolcanoes. Stratovolcanoes tend to have steeply sloping sides that lead to a peak at the top, and their eruptions tend to be very, very explosive. For example, a real-life stratovolcano is Mount St. Helens in Washington. Very explosive. Another type of volcano has much less explosive eruptions. Shield volcanoes build up over time with successive lava flows until eventually you have a large, gently sloping shield volcano. An example of shield volcanoes in real life are the Hawaiian Islands. Each island is its own shield volcano. Now, I talked about all the different types of volcanoes, but Capulin is a cinder cone volcano. And cinder cone volcanoes, as I mentioned earlier, have very explosive eruptions. To erupt, Capulin Volcano needed 3 things. The first thing, of course, that it needed is magma from underneath the Earth's crust to erupt. The second thing it needed was an opening or crack, otherwise known as a vent, in the Earth's crust. The third thing it needed was lots and lots of pressure to force that magma up through that opening and erupt the volcano. Magma, once it reaches the surface of the Earth, is known as lava. Now, talking about how Capulin Volcano erupted, let's do a science experiment to see how it erupted. In this science experiment, we'll have the 3 things that volcanoes need to erupt. The Diet Coke will represent the magma from underneath the Earth's crust. This geyser tube will represent the opening in the Earth's crust that magma erupts from. And finally, we have Mentos in the geyser tube. Those Mentos represent the pressure that's needed to force that magma out through the opening in the Earth's crust. So without further ado, let's explode this volcano. Safety note: when doing this experiment, make sure to always have adult supervision, to never look directly over the top of the Diet Coke bottle, and after you release the Mentos into the Diet Coke, always make sure to take a few steps back so you don't get Coke all over yourself. Let's erupt Capulin. That was a very explosive eruption. But if you noticed in that experiment, all the lava erupted from the top of the volcano. In real life, Capulin did not erupt that way. Most of the lava in Capulin Volcano erupted from the western side of the volcano in an area that we call the boca, which is Spanish for mouth. If you notice behind me, you see a ridge of lava covered in trees. This ridge of lava is actually part of our boca. Now, when Capulin Volcano erupted, the first kind of series of the eruption was just a lava flow flowing over the land. After that, more and more pressure built up underneath the crust, and eventually you have the cinder cone form. You had cinders spewing out and spewing out and spewing out and spewing out until eventually you have a 1,000-foot cinder cone volcano. Once that cinder cone was built, there wasn't enough pressure to force more lava up through the top, So the vent at the top that formed the cinder cone actually solidified with lava, and the remainder of the lava spilled out from the western side in that Boca area. The lava that erupted from the side of Capulin volcano actually covers about 16 square miles around the volcano. So if this experiment were real life, we'd have to poke a hole in the side of the geyser tube, and most of that lava would spew out the side. Thank you for learning about volcanoes with me at Capulin Volcano National Monument. See you guys later.